Hi, fourth graders. All right, today is Wednesday the 3rd. Oops, I never changed any of these dates. All right, today is the 3rd. Sorry, this drives me insane when I forget things on the agenda, so let me fix it because I caught it yesterday and I did not fix the whole thing. All right, now we're rocking and rolling. All right, so hello. Today is Wednesday the 3rd. It was wear your favorite college gear. Tomorrow is a shirt with a positive message or positive words. Tomorrow we have our reading CFA and we have our tutorials. And then Friday is wear your favorite jersey or workout gear. And we have our fun Friday rock painting for our kindness garden. And make sure tomorrow is the last day to pick up your rocks. So during school hours, if you can swing by, they have a basket and you just grab a rock, and it's one rock per student, per virtual student. And you'll need to get painting supplies, and the kids will have a chance to paint that on Friday for our Fun Friday activity. And then after spring break, Miss Orihuela would like everybody to bring them back to school to add to our garden. All right, so Wednesday, we started off with measuring adjacent angles, and we were doing some sketching here, completing our angles. So if you head over to Seesaw where it says week 26 math whole group and independent work and open up your draft. All right, we are, all right, right here. So it says the lesson was about drawing and completing the angle measurements. So this one is we're trying to do 29 degrees. So if you line up your first bottom ray on 0 and your second, you want it on 29. So let's see. There's a little bit more. Too much. Right before the 30, right there. So the 0 is on the inner scale. So when we're counting 10, 20, 30, 29 would be right before 30 there. And this is an acute angle because we haven't made it to 90 degrees yet. So you want to make sure that that angle 29 degrees, it should look just like this, where it's a small opening because it's that acute angle. The next one on page 11, you have SU, and we're trying to make the angle TSU, and we want it to measure 42 degrees. So let's zoom in here. And 42 would be right. So here's 0 on the inner scale, 10, 20, 30, 40. And I'm going to go up to the little one, 41, 42 would be right here. And so if I draw, let me see how straight I can make this. From here all the way to there. That's good enough there. All right, so 42 degrees. And so we want the angle TSU. So I'm going to make little arrows there, and I'll just put a point on here and call it T. And TSU is an acute angle because we haven't made it to that 90 degrees yet. Then let's go over here. It says draw ray NO so that MNO measures 105 degrees. So here you have NM, and we need to add another ray. So it's going to be N and then an O. And now we're on the other side. So here we're using the outer scale. We want 105. So if we go all the way around, here's 100, here's 105, right in the middle of 100 and 110. And so when we connect that back to our vertex there, and we need to put a point on it and call it O. So there's M, N, O. And here's our 90 degrees. So if you see, we've gone all the way around and gone past it. So if we've gone past 90 degrees, then that means that M and O is an obtuse angle. Just put that for obtuse. So this one, if you look how small it is on the left, you can see the smaller angles are acute and larger are obtuse. All right, then on page 12, this is what was tested on one of the STAR tests in a previous year. And this is kind of the same thing, but this one you have different options. And so it's a multiple choice, and it says Frank is using a protractor to construct an angle. So construct, he's building that angle, and he wants it to measure 65 degrees. First, he draws ray PQ. So here's P and Q. So he draws that ray as shown on the protractor. To complete the 65-degree angle, Frank should draw another ray that starts at point P and passes through blank. So we're starting at point P, and we're going to go and draw and continue that to make a 65-degree angle. Well, I see that my starting point right over here is at 0, and the 0 is on that inner scale. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to find, and let me zoom in here. So I'm going to go all the way. So here's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Midway would be 65 right there. And so I'm going to connect those. And if you see, that goes right through point S. And so there we go. All right. So at S, that's where we would need to draw that other ray to make that 65-degree angle. Now, a lot of people, when they did this, not a lot, but a really good handful chose T. And V is pretty obvious. That would make a 180-degree angle. This one's pretty obvious. That would be way too small. Okay, so hopefully nobody chose those. But T is one of the things that people did, and they got it wrong. And if you really look at it, and you find where the 0 is and you see what scale it is, and you're like, okay, I'm using the inner scale, there's 60, there's 65, mark it at S, then that's how people got it right. They went through those steps of finding where the starting was and finding the scale and so on. But a lot of people, if you just look at T is at 65 degrees. It's just not the right scale. So here, if you were to, let me pick another color here. Sorry if you can hear my dogs. All right, so if the angle was open up this way, like that, that is a 65-degree angle. Okay, so this is 65 degrees, just like this one over here is 65 degrees. But because this bottom ray is pointing and opening, and the direction is going to the right, we're using that inner scale, not the outer. Notice right here, 0 is on the outer scale. Okay, so T is not correct. Don't be tricked by that and just go find and look here. Make sure you always start at the 0 and work your way up from that bottom ray. Okay, so please, please, please pay attention to that. All right, for independent work, that is on page 13. How did I get someone's work? Did I click on some? Maybe am I on someone's work? Hold on. Why does that have answers? Hold on. Let me see what I clicked. That's weird. That was sample student. Huh. Let me see. Sample student. Show draft. Edit. Alright, go. Let's see. Huh, that's so weird. Okay, well, I'm showing everybody the answers. Alright, so let's check and see if they're right. Alright, so 25 degrees. They have their 25 degrees. EFG, acute. Yep. And they need JLK at 80. Ooh, looky here. Alright, so whoever did this is not correct. This is the mistake that people always make if they make a mistake. So look here. Here's 80 degrees. They're right, that is 80, but you're not using the outer scale. You're using the inner scale. So that is a big no-no. So let me get rid of all this. And this line right here, to be 80 degrees, you've got to be right here. Okay, so don't choose this 80 because that's going past 90 and that would make it an obtuse angle. 80 is a acute angle. You need to be before. So JLK is an acute angle. That part is correct. The angle where it was lined up is wrong. So we are not at this one. We are at this one. Okay. So inner scale, outer scale, that's an easy mistake to make, but if you always start at the 0 and you start here and go all the way around like that, then that'll help kind of check yourself. All right, so that was the independent work, so there you go. Draft that when you're done. Then, all right, so after that, do ST Math for about 10 minutes, and then you can do Prodigy as well. Then we continued working with our benchmark review. Then in reading today, we continued working with the poem 12. So we went to activities, and I'm not going to read it again since we read it yesterday. Hopefully you saw that lesson. But what we did was all right, so we went over numbers 4 and 5 together, and we read it again and went over those, talked about that, talked about, just finding that evidence. This one on 4, it had 3, A, B, and C. We were really going back and forth about, and we really just had to, we took out D. D was complete bogus. It had nothing to do with the poem. So that was a really easy one to take out. But then on the others, we really had to stop and think about it. And, sometimes that's what you have to do. Some things are really, really close, and you really just kind of have to say, okay, let me really look, like this one when it says the word scary. Let me think, okay, why was that there? Does it connect to the poem? And really analyze the poem and really, make those connections. And so we ended up going with C on that one, and then A on the bottom. And then on page 5, we did these for independent work. So 6, 7, and 8 should be done. And then tomorrow we'll start this about the pirates. The next thing we did was continued our Read Across America with our different regions. and we went today to the Southwest. And so we read this book right here. You can click on the Southwest Sunrise. And then we also continued reading our um, the one I keep saying I always say the one and only Ivan, the Wild Robot. We continued reading that, and then the epic ones for today were the Grand Canyon and We Are Grateful. So make sure you are reading those in epic, and then you could check for the other ones, Flying High and the Water Lady. You could see if those are in Sora to check those out, or at your library if you'd like to read. And then that was that. So you can draft that. So we did lots of reading today. Then in All right, for small group, we continued reading our nature poems and the ocean poems with the different groups. In writing, we did some editing and revising on a passage called Memories. So if you open up writing, all right, so today we did the story called Memories. And we needed to make some edits. And so the first one was to go back and look at sentence 2. So it says, I was actually at Disney World for the first time, but we forget our camera. So we changed that to forgot. But we forgot our camera. The next one was a spelling. So you can use your dictionary to check spelling. So they misspelled the word sign. So we fixed that. On 3, we were looking at sentence 5. It says, Mom darted into the store and was buying a Canyon Power Shot. And we changed buying to bought. Mom darted into the store and bought a Canyon Power Shot. Then on number 4, we said number 4 was correct and that we didn't need to make any change. So that was sentence 11. It says, Now I can see the trip every day as I admire photographs of me on Mickey's knee. Then we went, so these were different spelling and making sure that the verbs we're using are in the correct tense. So we went to page 6 and we added that into or we not added, we checked and verified that in our own writing that we did on our benchmark to make sure that that was reflected in our writing as well. Then we spent some time working on our introductions. So we got into groups and we were working on that. And I really want to. I told everybody that I really wanted to challenge them. Think about it like in our Go Noodle. The videos that we watch in the morning. We always have a character, and the character levels up, and he gets stronger and stronger. Well, that's kind of like our writing too. We started, kind of, very basic, and we've been leveling up, and we're to the point now where we need to be producing writing that is unique. It's not repetitive. It's not that, just kind of basic level writing, really thinking outside the box and really trying to engage our reader in an interesting way. And so I was, having people throw out some ideas and, kind of, work on it with their group and just kind of bounce around some ideas and ask people, for some advice about what they were coming up with and putting all that together for their introduction. So on page 9, this right here in the green should be filled out. And then for science today, we went to Seesaw and went to the science lesson. Right here, so you can click on the link here, and we define matter, density, and volume, and that comes straight from the video, so make sure you watch that and put the definitions here. And then we also, students went and grabbed a glass of water and just filled it halfway. Then they found two objects and they put the objects in the water to see how the water level rises. And whenever you measure volume, you're measuring. So if you start at a certain level and then the water rises, wherever it wherever that second level is, you take that number, um, and then you take the first initial level and you subtract those, and that helps you find that. Then the video goes back over with density, where if you have things that are sinking, you know that those things are more dense. And we saw yesterday about how the particles um, inside the object, how when they're really close, those are the things that are more dense. And when we have particles that are more spread out, those are things that are less dense. And so if it's less dense than the water, it's going to float up to the top. And then, let's see, get out of that. Then in social studies, you can click on this, and we looked at this diary written by a young man taking a cattle drive. And so it's just talking about a lot of the hardships, going without food, or, just different weather conditions and stuff that you may not have thought about. And just, what a difficult job that was, taking care of the animals, day in and day, all day, all night. And so then we went to Wednesday's article and questions and did the two questions for Wednesday. And then we continued working on our benchmark review. And we did some word problems at the end of the day that dealt with money and adding and subtracting decimals. And so we'll practice more of that tomorrow in small group. And we've got the reading benchmark and math benchmark are coming up when we come back from spring break. So we'll keep reviewing some things that we haven't touched on in a while, and we'll be all refreshed and ready to go. All right, so make sure you look over. There's a few things going on tomorrow, so make sure you look over this list for Thursday, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.